Howdy folks, Mac McCarty here again with the Rough and Tumble channel. Really good to be with you. Thanks for joining in. This story here goes back in the 80s, and I was a journeyman wireman working for a contractor out of Kilgore, Texas, and we did a ton of work for Amico Production Company. And this particular story is about a guy we called Poopee. He was a Cajun fella. He was pumping oil wells down there, and I'm gonna tell you, he was a colorful, interesting individual. And but Poopee was old school, and he didn't always understand the newer technology, and the technology that was new then is antiquated now, folks. It's antiquated, but at the time we thought we were in high cotton, folks, I can guarantee you. But anyway, storms would come through and the leaves would go down, and Poopee would be out checking his wells, and the next day or so, and he'd be driving around, he'd say, "This well here's down." He'd call us. Well, if I was one of the fortunate ones that got sent down there, I pretty well knew when I found out who it was that more than likely it was going to be a clock out of sync, because when the power go down, the clock wouldn't be running, so the time of day would be off. He'd drive by the time of day that well's supposed to be running, and if it wasn't, he'd just call us. And we'd go down there, set that clock, go get a cup of coffee, then go back to the shop, make a nice, easy 2 hours. Now, I know there are people out there saying, "Oh, well, that's just terrible. You shouldn't have done that." Well, folks, I wasn't going to throw that man under the bus and get him in trouble. I had tried to explain to him what was going on. Went right over his head. It's interesting how some people know a lot about computers and things, and they think they're so brilliant, but let them get out there and try to plant some potatoes or some onions or some corn. They don't have a clue how to work a mule with a plow. I don't have a clue. I've never done that. I've done it with tractors, but I do know how to plant. I do know how to grow, and sometimes I have to ask somebody upstairs why this stuff isn't growing as good as it should, and then sometimes I'm thinking, thank you, Lord, this is blessed more than I deserve. But I was not about to throw Poopee under the bus. Sometimes the big shots, his bosses, would ask me, "Well, what was wrong with that well over there?" And I'd just say, "It is a bad connection." It was. There was not a lie. That well had a bad connection. The clock connection wasn't made because it hadn't been set to make it the right time of day. And so that's just the way I would do it. And I would have, appreciated, a lot of us would get in situations and the newer technologies leave us in the backwash, and we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Hopefully somebody will have the mercy and the kindness to not throw us under the bus either. Hope you enjoyed this story. I thought a lot of that man. All of this is water under the bridge now. It's just things in the past. But I enjoyed those times, and I enjoy sharing these stories with you. Appreciate a like and subscribe, and until next time, I'm Mac McCarty saying so long for the Rough and Tumble channel.